Greetings to the family. Yesterday we were talking about the usefulness of the African Cup of Nations trophy. Now we call it a cup, and we know how every cup is supposed to be used to either drink water or any other drink. But then we came to the realization that the prize or the African Cup of Nations trophy is useless because you cannot use it for anything. And if we cannot use it for anything, then why is it that people are wasting their time, people are giving in their all? I'm talking about they giving in their heart, their strength, their mind and everything because of the upcoming tournaments. I'm going to take you back. Then we will all realize what has been going on previously in the football or the soccer sector in terms of killing people in Ghana or Africa as a whole. So we will look into some of these incidences. Then you will realize how costly. Meaning the cup cannot be used for anything. Right? And no African nation is being able to come out saying that, oh, this year, for instance, the Nigeria won it last, 2 years ago. So it'll be like, oh, Nigeria won this trophy. So now, the money that came out of the trophy, then they will use it to develop something in Nigeria for the citizens, because the citizens were happy or they were cheering up their players during the tournament. But here is the case. The players enjoy their lives, and all the football federations or the FAs in Africa are having fun, while we, the citizens in Africa, are suffering. We are giving in our all. But the worst part of it is that some of our brothers and sisters have been killed in these sports stadiums. So I'm just going to take you through some of these incidences in Africa. And then we all see how costly the African football is being to us as Africans. And then you realize for a fact that the football can never develop our continent of Africa, but rather industrialization and hard work will rather develop Africa. Because we lack industrialization, people are trying to escape because there is nothing to do in Africa, and the African youth are escaping. Now, the agenda is to escape from Africa and go to the Arab nations. And people, look at how people are dying in the Mediterranean Sea and around the Libya desert and all of that. So we let us sit down and look into all of these things. Then we will come to the realization that we don't have to waste our time on any African football tournament or whatever. It doesn't bring us together. The soccer or whatever tournament that they got doesn't bring us together. It's rather killing people and turning people against each other. Yesterday, I cited an example that supposedly Nigeria is playing a match with Ghana. There is a game between Ghana and Nigeria. For the most part, all Nigerians will wish the death of the Ghana Blasters players so that their nation will be able to win. Is this a good thing? No. But if we all have an industry, for instance, in Ghana or Nigeria, you see how people will be benefiting by working and supporting their families, because whenever you work, productivity is going up. And whenever productivity is going up, the people become okay because there is something to do, there is something to enjoy. You see what I'm saying? So let us think about all this and forget about the unnecessary fun. You are having fun over the football tournaments for nothing because you get nothing out of that fun. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. Let us see some of these incidences in the past. All right. Oh, I'm coming. I pull this up. All right.
Well, African football is no stranger to death in stadiums, and last weekend was an exciting weekend for football fans in the continent when we were having AFCON 2019 qualifiers. But the big island of Madagascar A life was lost and 40 others injured in stadium stampede just before the Madagascar and the Senegal game. Now, this is definitely not the first such incident in the continent. It's again not even the worst. The continent has, over the last few decades, gotten a tragic record of stadium disasters. Ironically, insecurity, with increasing insecurity in the continent, no incident has been a result of terrorism. All these tragedies stem from poor crowd control, overzealous fan behavior, and overzealous policing. Now, on May 9th, 2001, the worst stadium disaster in Africa occurred in Accra, Ghana, after a match between Hearts of Oak and Asante Kotoko. Hearts netted 2 goals to win the game, after which Kotoko threw objects onto the pitch and broke seats. The police fired tear gas into the stands from the resultant stampede. 127 souls were lost.
So let us think about something here. Let me explain. Now, they have been putting the blame on the soccer fans that, after the match, because their team lost, they were very, very disappointed, and their anger waxed, so they started throwing out bottles or stones or whatever onto the pitch. But that is not the case. They have the agenda, the total number of people that they want to kill already. But they will definitely do something little to trigger the fans, so that the fans will misbehave. And then they will call the police with guns and tear gas. And then that is all they do. They know already your team lost, so you are very, very angry. And they will do something little to trigger or to charge your anger more. And then you will do something worse. And then after that, they will use that as an opportunity or as a trap to bait you. You see what I'm saying? So let us be very smart.
State Frederic Kibasa Maliba in Lubumbashi, DRC. Local clubs Tepe Mazembe and Saint Eloi Lupopo were clashing on the 29th of April 2001. Crowd trouble ensued, and again police fired tear gas into the crowd. A total of 40. Police fired tear gas again here. In Ghana, through tear gas. We see what I'm saying? One crowd trouble ensued. Were club DRC. Local clubs Tepe at the State Frederic Kibasa Maliba in Lubumbashi, DRC. Local clubs Tepe Mazembe and Saint Eloi Lupopo were clashing on the 29th of April 2001. Crowd trouble ensued, and again police fired tear gas into the crowd. A total of 14 people died in the stampede that ensued. In 2012, a report says 74 people were killed when... You see the death row? You see the death row right here. Fans of Egyptian side Al-Maz returned violence against visiting supporters of Al-Ahli at the Port Said Stadium. Panicked Al-Ahli fans were attacked with blunt instruments and objects, and many were killed in a crash as they tried to escape the violence, while others fell or were thrown from terraces. Last year, 8 fans died in a stampede at a game in Malawi, while the same number was killed in a cup final in Senegal. 2 fans were killed in South Africa during a crash at an entrance gate for a pre-season friendly between Soweto sides, Kaizer Chiefs and Orlando Pirates at Soccer City, the venue of the 2010 World Cup in July 2017. Now, those are just some of the ugly incidences that have emerged from crowd trouble in African stadiums. By analysis, most of the deaths come from stampedes that stem from poor policing, like police firing tear gas into the crowd. Now, the crowd surges towards the only available exits. It has been established that due to poor ticketing systems, most of the stadiums have only a few gates open and others permanently locked. Why would you have only 3 gates open in a 60,000 capacity stadium that has over 20 gates? They have only 3 gates. You see what is going on? They have only 3 gates open in a 60,000 stadium capacity. Only 3 gates open. So in case something is happening, you have only 3 options in a 60,000 stadium capacity. You see what I'm saying? So it's an indirect way
of trapping your own self to death. You see what I'm saying? It's an indirect way of you are setting up your own trap for yourself by going into these sports stadiums. Sometimes when people are watching the football matches, you can see that they are even afraid because anything can happen. They have trapped themselves already in the midst of these tragedies. You see what I'm saying? Now, we used to go to Kumasi Sports Stadium, and that was what was going on previously. And we have to speak with the officials. The university students from the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology were very annoyed for the fact that sometimes it's only one gate open, and a lot of people are passing through this gate, and then you will see how uncomfortable it is. You see what I'm saying? But for the past years, we have realized that this strategy has been used as a trap to kill the citizens in Africa, in Ghana, and I'm talking about Africa, so let us generalize it in Africa. And then we all saw the analysis that was going through tear gases, incidences, and the fans breaking through to the pitch because they realized their team lost. You see what I'm saying? And a lot of things happen. And that is when the police will also set in with their tear gas. I don't know if it's only African police that has tear gas. We don't know. Because we have big matches, big games in the European Champions League and whatever. But not a single time we will see that the police is firing tear gas. For example, Real Madrid and Barcelona, match between Real Madrid and Barcelona at the Camp Nou can accommodate about over 90 to 100,000 people. But you won't see the police with the tear gas. But in Accra, about only 40,000 people, the police has their tear gas already. It's all about population control. Let us be smart. But again, the African Cup of Nations trophy is useless because every cup should be able to use it to drink water. Cup should be able to drink water or any other drink like Pito, like, you know what I'm trying to say, or water. But come to think of it that the African Cup of Nations cannot do, the trophy cannot do anything. You are just wasting your time on nothing. It's just like people have been wasting their time in the churches worshipping Jesus and Muhammad and Allah and all of that. But they are not real. It's nothing coming out. You see what I'm saying? You should be very smart so that you won't fall prey for these these traps. You won't be a victim. That is what I'm trying to say. So something to think about. You saw all the statistics. I love you all. This is the moment of truth and natural wisdom. Again, football will never will never be able to develop our continent of Africa. Look at China. They don't even care about football. Look at how they are developing. Look at America. You don't even care about soccer or whatever. But look at how they are developing. Look at all the other countries. And look at the South Americans who love soccer. What development is going on in South America? Brazil already won 5 World Cups. And look at Argentina and other squad, the Chile and Uruguay. What development is going on? And look at China. Look at Asia. So look at North Korea and South Korea. Even North Korea, South Korea is even developing of late. Look at Malaysia. Ghana and Malaysia got independence same time according to 1957 statistics. But look at what is going on in Malaysia and look at what is going on in Ghana. You don't see Malaysia in a World Cup, but they are developing. You see Ghana, you've been seeing Ghana 3 times in a World Cup tournament. But look at what is going on in Ghana. Flood in Accra. Citizens are dying here and there. The youth in Africa are running away from Ghana and Nigeria and Africa towards the Arab nations. And they are being trapped and killed along the way, especially in the Mediterranean Sea. This tells you for a fact that a football match, a football tournament, football players, soccer fans, is not ideal plan to develop our continent or Africa, but rather we need industrialization. I love you all. This is the moment of truth and natural wisdom. We need industrialization. We already have the raw materials from our rich African land, or our continent is very rich, full of resources that we should be able to turn them industrially into useful products, not into football matches. I love you all.